Welcome to Unbiased and on the Fence. I forgot to mute myself, and it's because I was judging Michelle because she forgot to unmute herself for like I don't know, 20 minutes or so. And of course, he probably would have won the Nobel Peace Prize, right? They can't hear you yet because I forgot to unmute you.
Because I was doing this.
But at least we got to hear your guest, Sherry, overprotected, and so I normally,
Agreeing with me a lot.
yeah. So normally I hit the mute button or I'll miss the mute button. I'll unmute myself, and that time I missed it for myself. So it happens, folks. This is live. There's nothing you can
Oh,
do
it
about
does.
it. You know,
You
you
know,
can you can go you can go back and cut parts out, but at least you could hear overprotected, Sherry. So I just found out you can go back and actually edit videos once they're up. You can go into enhancements on the video, and you can cut sections of it out. So I'm glad I know that because I've had a few
and
callers.
right there is a testament to all of you on how much Shane has helped me develop my own channel. No, you really you really are. You're there every day, even with stupid questions. Yeah, you've just been such a great guidance and support. And I think Shane can tell you too when he explained OBS to me, the look on my face. Say, Shane, I was like, what?
Yeah, it's an amazing song. I can't believe it's free too.
I know. I was like, do you have any idea what I'm going to do with this? It's getting there. It's a process. And, I'm learning and I'm learning quickly. And wow, now we're actually even teaching each other things when we go back and forth, even
Yeah,
I'm able to point things out for you now. Cause you know what, you know me already now. Once I start to dig, man, I don't stop digging till,
right.
right?
That's funny because that's the difference between us. I got it good enough to make it work, and then I'm done with it. And then I'm like, so the student has become the master. So I like that.
That's, you know what, that's always been my way. I want to understand it inside and out, and taking the ideas and the concepts and everything that I see visually, and being able to, it's been such a process. It's like, okay, how do I do this? How do I make that? How do I make this go here and do all these things? And because it's a creative process, it's an artistic process like anything else. And yeah, it's just been so exciting to see that development and starting to learn how I can take my ideas and my messages and put them together better and better and better. But there's always the little glitches, the silly things. I'll get so on the cool stuff and then forget the simple things.
Oh, it is that way, isn't
you
it?
know
So
Mhm.
speaking of which, let's look at this Schumann because oh my God, this is it's been off the charts. They're talking about it in the chat while we were waiting to
Yeah.
get started. And I've never seen anything quite like it. Now it's actually died off here. I do
A
want
little
to,
bit, but not for long.
yeah. Let me move this over a little bit because I had somebody send me an email and they're like, "How do you look at this thing? What's the deal with this?" So let me scoot it over a little bit. Let's see.
Yeah, just to try to get so it makes a little sense. Now, I think they need to expand the chart at this point because we get energy that goes off of the chart. So I don't think it's tracking really how high it can actually get sometimes now. So I'm
Right.
surprised they haven't expanded the scale on the chart.
So what we're looking at here is the Schumann resonance, and all of these white lines you see here are weird. They shouldn't be here. It should look like it looks in this little bitty gap right here, where you see just these green bands going across here. So all of this white that you see is the white is showing that their sensors are actually pegged. It's like off the charts right there. That's as high as the intensity goes. Now, if you look along the left side here, this shows you the hertz that we're talking about. And you can see from 0 on up to 40, which that's what you were just talking about. They should expand that into a higher, uh, showing higher frequencies or whatever.
Yeah,
But
because it's not even nearly covering it sometimes when we get these blasts now. So the normal is 7.86,
yeah,
7.86,
which is where this band right here, you can see between the pegs, you can see this band right here. This is the normal Schumann resonance, and this, is sort of what it should normally look like in between here, where you see these green bands. So, whenever you see these white sections here, and these are like pulses, like something was pulsating. And
And it's very, you know, it has a cadence to it. It has a pace to it.
yeah,
It's developing sort of a predictability, even though we may get spaces and gaps. Like I can see the patterns developing within it. And then, of course, you have along sort of about the last third or quarter down on the page, you have that dot 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 dot.
yeah, right here. This is right around
And I'm
20.
looking at it, it's almost like dot dot dash dot 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 dash. So I'm wondering now, did you see? I think it was Mr. MBB did one where they actually caught like numbers 333 coming out, showing on the Schumann resonance.
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't get to see that one.
So the way that it's, and I've been looking at it. Sometimes I'm looking at it. It's like, is it trying to say something? Are those letters or numbers possibly popping up? And they have caught it now. And the way that the grading showed on the graph showed numbers.
Like it looked like 333.
Yes.
Oh wow! I bet he loved that with his.
Yes.
What's his number? 333.
And I've been wondering that too, because when I look at it, sometimes it's like almost like, you know, is it trying to say something?
Yeah.
Yeah, to actually see. So I'm pretty sure it was Mr. MBB. But
yeah, if you go to mrmbb333.com and come to the website here and scroll down, you can hit Schumann resonance. This link is in the description below, as well as a link to Mr. MBB333's YouTube channel. And this, he's got a video he released a couple of days ago that shows he captured a craft like late at night. In the dark. It was pitch black dark. You can barely see it, but you can see it, and it's amazing that his camera could even pick it up, because I don't think my camera would have been able to pick it up because it's just so dark. But
it's very hard to see. But you know, that's the frustrating thing sometimes. I know at night it's like I wish I could get better shots and pictures of, you know, the things you see, but it's so hard, especially with the moon. You know, it just doesn't come out right. Yeah. But what I really liked about that, because you know how he usually is, he'll ask the questions, but he doesn't tell you. He just says, you know, it could be this and it could be this, but he rarely comes out and straight out blatantly tells you this is what I think this is. So I love the fact that he did this video, and because he witnesses himself. And, you know, I really think this shows to his character, too. He's not trying to convince people of anything, just present the questions. But the fact is, he saw it himself.
Yeah, with his own eyes.
That video, he was like, this is what it is.
Yeah, he was out there trying to capture something else. And he captures this on film. And, man, he must have been so excited. It's a boomerang-shaped craft moving super fast. And he said it was super huge. He said you could fit a couple of stadiums.
Yeah,
it was huge, and
you can common shape, like that shape seen before, especially in Phoenix area.
Yeah,
right where he lives, like that's a pretty common. They've been seeing that for years. So, I don't think that personally, I don't think it's an extraterrestrial craft. For me, I would think that it's probably secret space program craft, has been around for a while. So, but I also saw a video. Secure Team 10. He's been put, because there's so many UFO shots. So somebody in Mexico catching the same thing I caught and put up in one of my videos was the big, a huge circle with the lights up in the sky. Guy was in a Walmart parking lot with his kids, and this person in Mexico caught 4 of them in the sky.
Wow. Yeah, they also. Is the Fifth World in here? The Fifth World just put out some videos of these sort of light craft. Yeah, the Fifth World. You can actually go to her channel and check out the video she put up. I don't really know what it is, but it's pretty wild. It looks wild, and so that's a good one. Also, Bruce Sees All. He has this huge telescope, and he zooms in on the moon, and you can see structures on there. Well, he recently, while he was looking through there, he found what appears to be, it's almost so much that it looks like it could be like a some kind of craft exploded and there's like pieces floating across the surface, but you can definitely see there's something floating across. You can even see that it casts a shadow on the surface. So I don't even think this is something in orbit around the moon. I think it was actually floating close to the ground or flying close to the ground, but there's definitely something there. I put a link to that video below in the description box. So definitely want to check it out.
It's kind of silly. Like, you know, I don't know. It's like the waiting for disclosure, when it's like we're all seeing it. I don't know. It just seems so silly. What are we waiting for? Waiting for the government to just go, yeah, okay, all right.
Actually, they've been so deceptive that I'd almost wonder if it's true anymore if they came out and admitted it, to be honest with you.
What's the point even? Like, it's kind of ridiculous at this point, you know. I don't know. It just seems so silly. And but I mean, this is where I think, you know, with Q posting Sky is Falling, I think that's where we're going to start seeing an integration. I'm not sure if, you know, again, I think often with Q, it points to multiple levels of things, right? And truths on multiple levels, which is one of the reasons I like it. But I mean, the direction to look up, it is so important, though, if you think about it, Shane, because our society and being asleep, where we were was like this, right? Heads down, nobody was looking up. And I know as we started to wake up, a lot of us have experienced that frustration of, you know, standing beside somebody and being like, look, you know, can you believe that chemtrails up there? Or does that even look right to you? And they give you this dumbfounded look, like, what are you talking, you know, whatever, what are you talking about? Like, they won't, it's like blinded and they're back looking at the phone.
Yeah.
But we are all starting to look up now, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're starting to realize sort of the lasso around our neck that extended, you know, from the phone or the device, you know, holding us looking down, looking down, looking down. And as we wake up, we, you know, we blink our eyes and we're starting to look around and we're looking up and we're looking up and we're looking up. But I don't think it's just one thing that'll be exposed. You know, if Q's bringing up Sky is Falling, I think there's references to business deals that were going on at the time. But then I think there's also multiple references. What about these chemtrails? What are they doing? I don't think they're doing just one thing. I think they're doing multiple things. What are these weird colors we see in the sky? Well, I don't think that it's just one thing. I think it's multiple things. What are these strange lights moving around us or on the moon? Well, again, I don't think it's just one thing or one straight answer. I think we're seeing multiple things. I think that we're seeing the diversity all around us in all these different aspects. It's not just one answer. So, you know, these questions are keys to unlocking not just one door, but multiple. It's basically you're unlocking the door to a whole other building of doors, you know, and where you go from there, because there is so much going on.
It's an exciting time to be alive. I keep telling people that it's like so much going on right now. And I keep going back to that scripture in Daniel that says towards the end that end of this age, because I don't feel like it's the end of everything. I feel like it's, you know, really we're coming up on the beginning of something much more beautiful, you know. And I always go back to that scripture, the lion shall lie down with the lamb. Well, it used to read that way. Isaiah 11:6. Now it's the wolf. But still, I feel like we're moving into this time period of peace and love where the light will reign on earth instead of the darkness. So I feel like things are being transmuted, transformed. And it seems like, you know, people are like, when is the event? You know, when is it going to happen? It's like, dude, it's happening. It's already happening. Look around. Take the baton. Yeah.
It's being passed to you. Yeah, I'm right here. I'm passing you the baton. Are you a light worker? You're asking. Yeah. Yes.
And you're like, well, the dark controls the world. I'm like, they might control the world, but they don't control you. You're a sovereign being. Take control of your life. Step out into your sovereignty and start, you know, pick up the reins of your own life and start living it in this new world that we're in because it's here.
Come here, you guys. Come here now. Stop that. All the action's going on over here, not outside. My big tough guard dogs. Whatever. No, no, no. Archer, and he's the toughest one of all, the little one. Here we go, Zoe. Tell everybody all about it. Yeah, it really is a whole revolution for everybody. It's a whole new world waiting for you to discover, and asking questions and being open to not one answer that boxes you in, but to be open to the concept that there's multiple answers that keep allowing these boxes to expand and open. Archer,
Yeah.
come here, buddy.
And you look even at a decade for things to shift would be super duper fast. So if we're even talking about a generation or two for things to completely shift and transform on the world, that's really on the cosmic scale, that's still a flash in the pan because, our recorded history only covers like the last 15 minutes of a full day of time that they say, so for us, we just got here. If you were to like plot out time on a clock, on a day, we just got here at the last 15 minutes, and for things in the last minute to shift drastically, might be a number of years for things to complete. But I think the more we step into our roles, the quicker it's going to happen. The more we stop looking and waiting for something and realize that it's here now, and all it takes is for us to use our free will and step into our beautiful roles as love light workers and beginning to spread. It's just going to reach that critical mass level where people just, it becomes the norm for people to treat people with love and respect and non-judgmental.
There's no thought to do otherwise.
Yeah.
Because your actions come from your heart and they're not interrupted of the doubts and defense mechanisms of the mind. Mm. And because, I think when your faith in being in your sovereignty is, you're not having to worry about those same fears. So the defenses doesn't have to kick in the same way. And, the things that we were holding back within our heart, afraid that they were going to be wasted or abused or dropped in the mud or whatever it was, we don't have to fear those things anymore. We can just let them flow. I was just reminded, thinking of Jess, not even that long ago, where she is now, what she's gone through. Wow. Watching her development in this process. And I remember, it was back when I did the video about the bully in your head and about, not even realizing that it's not actually you. And I remember her standing there, with tears really, and just being, I just want to love. Like, I just want to give somebody my love. I just want to be free to be safe, to fully love. And the freedom of that without having to hold it back or worry or any of those things. And I see that with her. Now she's not afraid to love. I'm not, when you give up the fear, it's not just being afraid of the boogeyman. You no longer have to be afraid to give and receive love. Don't growl at everybody, Zoe.
So you've been feeling sick or whatever. And, I want to bring up that Eileen brought up a really good point in a video she just put out earlier today, that a lot of times we'll talk about symptoms we're experiencing and sharing them, but we want to be clear that it's, everyone's different. So, if we mention that we've been having headaches or something and you're not experiencing the headaches, it doesn't mean you're not ascending or transforming. It's like we're all different. So it's not sort of a litmus test, if you will, that, you're being left behind because you don't have a headache or ringing in the ears or seeing synchronicities. The same way with like the Mandela effect, if you're not seeing it or, you don't think things are changing, it's not sort of a test as to whether your eyes are open or not. Maybe in respect to the Mandela effect itself, but I don't think, it should be an us and them sort of idea when we're talking about symptoms. We're just bringing them out because I think it's helpful that if we can talk about what we're experiencing and other people are them, then it's good to hear that, oh, I'm not the only one, or hey, there's nothing wrong with me physically. This is something many people, not everyone, but many people are going through. And I think many people that even aren't even awake are experiencing them, and they do think it's like just a health issue, and and they wonder, they go to their doctor and stuff like that. So, whoops, there's my grandson outside the door.
You got you.
Startled me because they weren't here. I was by myself, but anyway, yeah. So I don't think it's we should feel like you should feel like if you're not experiencing any of the things we talk about, that you're missing out or anything, because if you're not dealing with the headaches, I think that's really a good thing.
Good for you.
Right. Good for you.
And I don't usually too, like, I've gone long spells and not had the headaches, and then a couple of weeks ago it was like 2 or 3 mornings that I was waking up with the headaches. They passed about halfway through the afternoon, but they do. And I would remind you again of the infinite tuning board that we all have, and we all present symptoms in different ways. But I just actually, before we went on, answered a great comment. I can't remember if I was answering a comment or an email, but it
all does run together after a while.
Yeah. Well, especially that was the other thing I want to bring up after this. But look at this. Oh, I don't think you can see this. I got the paws. She's looped her paws. Anyways, they're asking me, what if I'm not having these dreams, if I don't have these like awakening or event dreams or whatever, does that not mean I'm a light worker? And I'm like, if you're here, we all